Well, it's the last Friday of February, and we're heading out a little late. It'll be a trip in the dark tonight, but we're heading up north to, not sure which lake yet, but gonna do a little winter camping this weekend and try a little trout fishing, although the expectations are not great for much luck, but we'll see. It's going to be a pretty mild weekend. Maybe a little bit of snow, not much, but should be pretty pleasant for winter camping, although we certainly have good gear, so it would be alright even in the cold. But we're bringing one dog with, Diddy, and Kira's staying at house with her dad, actually, for the weekend. And we are heading out just a little after 5. All right.
We got out to the campsite a little after dark. We ended up having to shovel and set up with headlamps on. There was a surprising amount of snow, so we ended up having to shovel through several feet to get down to the bare ground. Once the snow was shoveled, we were able to put down the footprint for the Arctic oven. We kept a watchful eye on Diddy, which is helped out by his glowing collar. Once the footprint is set, we're able to assemble the poles and get the inner tent ready to be placed. The Arctic oven is a 2-part tent with an inner part that features a breathable but heavy-duty tent material and an outer waterproof shell that goes over the top of the whole assembly. The thick aluminum poles are placed on the corner of the footprint in the tent by a couple of metal posts. Next, the inner tent is clipped onto the poles, which keeps it suspended. Once the inner tent was up, we could start hauling in the gear and putting together camp on the inside. Well, we've got this little titanium stove. I've used it in the teepee tent that we have, but we haven't used it in the big tent. We figured it would be warm enough this weekend to do it. So we are going to give it a shot. Oh, you know what I did is I put the top on the wrong way. So, I'll do it again. There we go. Okay. Well, Diddy seems at home in the cold. He's just hanging out there, chewing on sticks. Right, buddy? I'm practicing for fishing tomorrow. Oh, so we can keep track of Diddy. He's got the blue collar. Getting the cot set up on the inside there, which is a little bit of a process, but once they're in, they're nice. Well, and just like that, we have light, and it feels like a little home away from home.
Even with my pillow.
I brought the little camping pillow. Apparently he's going in luxury. These lanterns are nice because even just that is probably enough to keep this fairly warm.
Could be. There's a spot.
Yeah. Diddy found his spot for the night. We'll see. We'll see what he did. We got a couple blankets to put down for him. But this is his first time out doing anything like this. In fact, I think it's the first time we've taken any dog out to do anything kind of quite like this. But it was going to be warm enough this weekend, so why not? doing in. Well, he figured out pretty quickly where his spot is.
Yeah.
We got a couple blankets down to keep him warm from the ground. I think he will take a liking to this. Well, what do you think?
Yeah. We seem to have everything pretty well situated. We'll get some of the stuff in the vestibule for tonight, coolers and cook kit and stuff. Now it's just relax and rehydrate.
What are you rehydrating with?
Oh, I got a Icy Bay Alaska beer.
I don't know how much rehydration that's gonna do.
No, that's why I have a little bit of water before I drink this.
Well, how'd you sleep?
Yeah, but usually the first night I don't sleep.
No.
You know, as good. Took me a while to get to sleep, and then I woke up and different times.
Well, at least the dog didn't wake up and
No.
whine and beg you to take him out. Did he? Hey, stay in here for now. Well, the stove was acting up a little bit, kind of burping and puffing smoke back in. And I haven't had that experience with it in the past. So I was trying to figure out, we had the damper all the way out. Then I pulled out the spark arrestor screen. And you can tell it's all just clogged up with soot. You can't hardly see any light coming through it. So we'll leave that out here for now. But the way that this stove works is you've got your vents in the front here, so you can dampen down some of the airflow coming in. I oftentimes just leave it open though. And then in the back, this is your damper. So it's just a solid piece of the titanium, and there's a couple slits on the back end of the stovepipe, and so once you pull that out, man, it'll get rip roaring and glowing in here. So I've got that damper in about halfway, and I'm just leaving the front open, and that seems to keep the fire going well without seeming like we're gonna burn through the thing. Doesn't take long in this tent with this little stove to get it you know, pretty darn warm. I think our thermometer in here says it's 77 up at about head height, so not quite that down by our feet, but it's plenty adequate for this space.
Well, when I was cleaning some stuff this summer, I come across my old Coleman Peak 1 stove. So this is probably, what, 1970s vintage, so other than a few little burn marks on it or whatever, it almost looks basically new. So we fired it up at the house just to make sure, and man, she popped right off. We put in some fresh white gas, so we thought we'd bring it on this trip, and we'll try and get some coffee going here with it, and rather than put it on the wood stove, which takes a lot longer to heat up, although with the way that thing can cook, I mean, it might not take too long, but it's always nice to have a little stove like this for boiling stuff. So anyway, we'll see if we can get it to fire up. I mean, the temperature outside has got to be in the 20s, maybe mid-20s, low 20s, which is actually pretty warm for a nice little winter camping weekend. Takes a minute for the gas to vaporize, although it started right away, as you saw.
He was hiding this wonderful little stove from me in a old-timey coffee can, so nobody knows what little treasure was in there.
Cowboy coffee this morning, since this old coffee pot doesn't have the percolating center. We'll just do this, and you boil it for a little while. You turn off the stove and let it settle down, and then you good to go.
Well, this is the tent in the daytime. We showed some shots of it being set up, but this is how we've got her set up. We've got the vestibule with some of the leftover firewood and the cook kits. There's Diddy's spot on the inside. He did well last night. On the other side of the vestibule area here, we've got food and some of the extra fuel in that for equipment. We've got the 2 cots set up, and then the little titanium stove in the middle. And that particular stove was plenty adequate for keeping it warm last night, and I'm sure tonight as well. So we'll I'm sure have another comfortable night's sleep and enjoy the Arctic oven again. We'll see how he does in his spot.
What's up, buddy?
go fishing today?
Well, fishing was slow. Just a few little bites, but it was sure nice out on the ice in the sun and warm. There wasn't any wind, so it was still enjoyable. Start to feel a little bit of spring in the air. We spent about 4 hours out there. I think I had about 4 bites, and that Stephen had about the same number, I guess. But nothing hitting hard, graphing them on the screens, but not aggressive, which isn't surprising this time of year. A lot of times these lakes have low oxygen in them and that, so fishing is generally slower, but still a good way to spend 4 or 5 hours. We got wild rice hot dish with organic beef, organic mushrooms, cream of mushroom soup, onions from my garden, all mixed together. Just gotta heat her up. Our nice sunny day kind of went away with the wind and the clouds.
So we've got wild rice from Minnesota. We've got beer with plums harvested in Minnesota, and we're enjoying it out in the wild north woods.
Okay, we're gonna crack open this El Jefe.
Hefe.
Jefe. It's a Jeffy, Jefe, Jeffy. Stephen got this for me Christmas. Not this year, I think it was the year before, maybe. So it's been a while, but hopefully it's gonna be tasty. If I can, here we go. I won't be able to taste any liquid, it's all foam first.
Well, you should have poured it better.
Tastes very fruity. Tastes good though. Well, it's the end of Saturday. I don't know, must be a little after 8 now. So we just moved into the tent. It's probably in the low 20s outside, but the wind picked up and it clouded up. So I don't know if we're going to get a little snow tonight, but sure was a gorgeous day. The temperature must have been in the, I don't know, mid to upper 30s. There was no wind and had a few bites, but no fish. We had a good dinner, got some more firewood put up. Um, yeah, it was just a good all-around day. Nice day to be winter camping. So we'll be here tonight and then get up in the morning and just kind of take our time, relax and have a coffee and start breaking down camp at some point and head for home. So yeah, it was a great weekend to be out in the woods, that's for sure.
Well, how was night 2?
Well, I slept better last night. Usually the first night you're kind of trying to get used to things, and so yeah, it was a good evening. We got a little dusting of snow, and now it's snowing again. So nothing heavy, but we'll see what comes of it. So today I'll just be making some coffee, and then I suppose slowly start breaking down camp. And that this morning. So it's, yeah, all the trees frosted last night with the what they call the hoarfrost and that. So but I suppose because it was so warm and then it cooled off, I mean, I think I just checked the thermometer. It's, well, probably low 20s here now. I will pet you, but I don't want you scratching my down jacket. You punch holes in it. Then your dad will have to buy me a new one. It's Sunday, getting mid-morning, closer towards noon. We're breaking down camp. We've had this nice snow here falling all morning, so we're gonna have to spend some time when we get home drying the tent out and stuff so it doesn't mold and that. But this was an awesome trip weather-wise. It was warmer than most winter camping trips we've ever been on. Fishing was poor, but I guess it's more just coming out and spending a weekend using some of our gear that we have, seeing how the dog survived on his first winter camping trip, which he did very well with. Now granted, the temps were warm. I don't think we'd bring him out here if it was 0 down to 40 below, but he did well, and it was an awesome trip with Diddy and Steven and I, and we're glad you're watching, and hopefully you enjoy some of our journeys out in the bush, and we will look for you on the next video.